Kicking off his UFC 2024 season, Jimmy the Brick Flick, UFC 297. How we feeling, man?
Hey, man, we're feeling great. We're like 17 days out, man. UFC 297.
Yes, sir. It's getting close. Big pay-per-view. But before we get into that, how are the holidays? Everything go well there?
Oh, yeah, man. Everything went great. Christmas was good. Kids enjoyed it. And, right back to training.
You're training like a madman. Your Instagram's literally just you training. It's awesome. You did a 5K on New Year's, right?
Yeah, man. Did a 5K and it was really good. Talking to a lady friend that likes to run as well. And she keeps a really good pace. So it's very motivating. And so things have been great.
That's awesome, man. And I mean, dude, this card is a big one for you too because it's your first UFC pay-per-view, first time you really get to experience that like sold out UFC arena. So like, how you feeling about that?
Oh, I am stoked, going to fight the guy in his home country. First time leaving the US, I get an opportunity like this, and it's looking like I'm first fight in the night, and I really hope I am. I want to kick the show off with fireworks, really get the momentum going, and take the full experience in.
And this is your first time ever leaving the US?
Yeah, first time.
Oh, that's sick, man. So like, you're like extra excited to fight in Canada specifically?
Oh yeah, I mean, and hoping it opens up the door to go to other countries. Maybe get the chance to fight on Fight Island in Abu Dhabi.
That would be sick, man. Now, are you gonna be upset at all if you get some booze? Because you are fighting a Canadian. It's not you, it's him.
Oh no, I'm not upset about it at all. I mean, I got one game plan and one game plan only, and that's walk in that octagon and walk out with my hand raised. So that's the goals, and I'm there to take care of business, and that's what everybody's like. You're gonna enjoy it, like I'm gonna enjoy the business aspect, and then after that, I'll have a few hours before I fly back home. But I'm there to take care of business, keep my job, and prove that I'm one of the best flyweights in the world.
Yes, sir. And Malcolm Gordon taking him on. What are your thoughts on him? What have you seen from him so far?
Malcolm Gordon, he's well rounded. I mean, you can't sleep on the guy. I give him a lot of credit for the Makayev fight. He really showed up for that fight and put Makayev in some bad positions. He was comfortable in bad positions. So I know when I put him in bad positions, he's going to be comfortable there. And I need to make sure that I capitalize on every mistake he makes and prove that I'm just a better fighter all around. And I think it's going to be a great fight. I think we match up well, and I'm excited to see how it goes down.
And let's talk about that matchup for a second because it's no secret you're one of the best Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu practitioners in MMA. Malcolm, like you just said, very well rounded. So how do you think your guys' styles are going to actually clash in there?
I think, us both being Brazilian Jiu Jitsu black belts, most of the time they say maybe we're going to see a stand up battle. In this case, I don't think so. I think we both want to find out who has the better Jiu Jitsu. And I honestly believe my Jiu Jitsu and my wrestling is what's going to show the dominance here. I always tell people I got a Khabib wrestling and a Damian Maya Jiu Jitsu. I use my Khabib wrestling to get you to the ground, that pressure to make you move, make a mistake, and using my Damian Maya Jiu Jitsu to finish you off. And it's going to be no different on January 20th when I put Malcolm Gordon on his back.
Love it, man. Love it. And then, this isn't a question I like to ask, but, as a media member, journalist, whatever you want to call me, I kind of have to do my due diligence. Both of you are on a two-fight skid. And me and you have actually talked before both of those fights. And I know how motivated you were coming back from the break and coming back out of retirement. So I guess, like, does that add any pressure for this one? Like, being on a little skid to get back in that win column?
I mean, yeah. I mean, for me, for him, our job, or everything, I'm coming to his country. He wants to defend his country and get a win. He's on a two-fight losing streak. I'm on a two-fight losing streak. We need a win here. Our jobs are in jeopardy. Our careers are in jeopardy. We're both older as well now. So there's a lot, How does he feel about fighting in his country? How do I feel about, at the end of the day, like I said, it's business, and I know what I got to do. And I've trained really, really hard for this, and I'm finishing up a great camp, and it could not have went any better. I mean, we usually have a lot of ups and downs. I can't say mentally I haven't had some battles, but physically everything has been great for this camp. Weight's on point. Usually I have to hit the sauna occasionally. Everything's been so good with the diet with Icon Mills that the UFC's been taking care of us with 8 weeks out. And my weight and diet, everything's been good. Haven't hit the sauna at all. And I'm going to fly into Toronto just feeling good. And it's going to come together, and I'm going to prove why I belong to be in the UFC.
And I'm a fan of the sport too. I'm a fan of you guys as well. So when I see you and Malcolm Gordon, this is a matchup I like for both of you, right? I mean, both of you guys are coming off of each fighting two up and coming young prospects, and now you guys get like a similar matchup. So like, are you viewing it like that too? Like, okay, this is like a good matchup. This is gonna be a pretty even square fight.
Oh yeah, the UFC knows what they're doing, and they did this for a reason. They're bringing me in for a reason. They gave Malcolm and me this matchup for a reason, and they know that it's going to be a great fight. And for first fight of the night, they're doing that for a reason too. This hometown guy fighting a guy from another country. But I do have a big fan base in Canada, but most likely, yeah, we're gonna get boozed. I can't wait. Like I get the ceremonial weigh-ins. I get to
Yeah.
experience some stuff I haven't got to experience. My goal when I decided to start fighting was to walk out in front of thousands and thousands of fans. And at the Apex, it's only been hundreds.
Hmm.
So I've actually fought in front of more people on the regional circuit than I have in the UFC. So this will be the first time for me to actually get that full on experience. It's very motivating. And I put everything into this. And like I said, I got like one more hard week of just training, and everything else is just fine tuning and making sure the weight stays on point.
Is this the last fight of your contract?
Yes, it is. Yeah, I got a 4 fight contract when I fought on the Tuesday Night Contender, so I'm looking to go out there do something special again and make sure that I get a new one.
I love it, man. I love the motivation. Like I said earlier, it's been very clear how hard you've been training and how motivated you've been just from your social medias. And, camp still at Forza, Sheepdog, same spots.
Yeah, Forza Combat Sports in Broken Arrow, and then I work with my boy Micah Stockton. He's a Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu black belt. He's a Marine, professional boxer, kickboxer, MMA fighter. He's young 40s, but he's been in the sport for a long time. He's more my weight too. He's coming to Canada with me. I brought him in for this fight camp. I've been over at the Sand Springs Wrestling Room, the Keystone Wrestling Club with Cody Carstetter, Kyle Wag, wrestling with the high school boys at the Sand Springs High School. So I'm bringing back what got me to the UFC, and that's my wrestling, my dedication, my pressure, my want. I mean, I've been draining my ear constantly,
Oh,
showing that that wrestling work's been put in, that jiu-jitsu work, the grind, it's there, and everything's falling back into place. And I just got to show it January 20th.
I got a rule, and it's whether, road rage, bar, in a grocery store, whatever. If I see someone with cauliflower ear, I don't start a confrontation. Nope, don't do it. So you got me scared, brother. Don't you worry about that. Who's coming up to Canada to be in your corner?
My Coach Leo, he's been there with me since 2018, early 2019. We've been together, and we've brought in great people for this camp. And then, like I said, Micah Stockton, my jiu-jitsu coach now, and then my best friend, Big Mike. He's always been in my corner. His name's Mike Jackson, and it's not Mike the Truth Jackson. They always think it is, and it's not. But he's been my best friend since I was like 17 years old, and he's always in my corner. He's like very motivating for me. He knows what I go through mentally, physically, and emotionally, especially in my life. So he helps out a lot, and I got a great team, man, and I'm excited.
Hell yeah, man. And first fight of 2024. What's next after this? Obviously, you're aiming to get that dub, assuming you get that dub and a new contract. Like what's your timeline to return looking like?
Well, this last one we fought in January and we fought in June, and that was off of losses, which we don't like. And I almost fought in September, and then that got changed up, so I ended up getting January. So I almost fought 3 times this year. That's what I was looking for. So we kicked this year off with a big win. Hopefully, within a few months, we turn back around. There's a lot of big fights coming up.
Yeah.
I just want to stay ready, especially after I get this win and see what happens. And I would love 3 to 4 fights in 2024, really jump into the rankings and see where I can take this. I'll be 30, 33 years old this year. I can't even, yeah,
Something
34
like
this
that.
year. So like I'm getting right there at the peak of my age to really, take this to the next level and prove to people how good I really am.
And then, like, just in terms of that, are there any specific cards or fights that interest you? Like, I know you're a fan of the sport too. You make your picks every week, so you keep up with things. Any card or anyone you want to fight that really interests you?
Oh yeah. But can't really say about who I want to fight until I go and win,
Fair enough.
doesn't thing. If everything goes well, I mean, I want to get on that mic and do something special and make something special happen. And any card don't matter. It's the UFC now. I mean, obviously, I want to stay out of the Apex because I don't like the Apex based on the fan thing. Because I enjoy the fans. I enjoy that's everything I've always wanted. Big arenas. They're going back to Florida. They're going to be big UFC card, UFC 300. I mean, I don't know if any of us flyweights are even going to be lucky enough to get on that card with how stacked that's going to be. But the main thing in the UFC is staying ready. And that's what people don't realize. We contract laborers.
Yeah, right.
Like we're contract labor. They call you for a job, you either show up or you don't, and if you don't, your job's in jeopardy. So at the end of the day, I just want to go get this win, get a new UFC contract, and of course, I got a lot of people on my radar.
I love it, man. I'm looking forward to hearing some call outs on the mic in the octagon after the win. But Jimmy, before I get you out of here, man, taking the trip up to Canada, you got a lot of people looking forward to this fight and watching you get your hand raised. Whole gym, family, myself, everybody watching this interview on Cage Side Press. The list goes on and on. That being said, anything you want to say to everybody? If so, take it away.
Yeah, I appreciate everybody for the support. I can't thank you enough. Please tune in January 20th, UFC 297. I'm going to kick the show off with a bang. Shout out to all my sponsors for the support. Harvest Health Dispensary, Tulsa Sport Acupuncture, Minuteman Plumbing of Tulsa, International Crematory Services. I'm going to send them a body. Shout out to Inkwell Printing, um, let's say Industrial Motor Services, the Parlor Heroning, Broadway Barbershop, Forza Combat Sports and Broken Arrow, HKA USA, GG2 Sports and Card Show, my lawyer Palmer Law, uh, Rich Fairbanks from MAJ Mafia, sixth row, front row seats. He's gonna be there. Appreciate you for the support, Rich. I cannot wait. Shout out to my guy Michael Stockton, my training partner, my insurance broker, and I know I got one more in here. And let me make sure I don't miss them.
I'm impressed you remembered that.
Vista Pools and Outdoor Living in Kiefer, Oklahoma. I appreciate all y'all for the support, and I'm gonna make y'all all proud. Follow me on Instagram at the Brick MMA, even on TikTok at the Brick MMA, on X at Jimmy Flick, and the fan page Jimmy the Brick Flick.
We'll post all your social medias below so everyone can go follow him. But Jimmy, my man, for real, thank you for the time. And listen, I'm no one to give you a piece of advice, but I'm going to give you a little piece of advice because this past year I was lucky enough to cover my first UFC pay-per-view in person. And I know how quick that went, right? Media day, press conferences, weigh-ins, the fight night flew by. I imagine it's only going to go faster when you're a fighter. So, man, close your eyes, take it in, enjoy that week, get some interviews in with some media people, and fucking have a blast, bro. Very excited for you.
Yes, sir. Most definitely. Thank you, man.
Jimmy the Brick Flick, January 20th, UFC 297. My man.
Yeah.